afternoon and a warm welcome to the virtual Mkuku. My name is Penuel the Black Pen. This is Penson Mlotshwa. It's the Pen and Pen Show.
Hola,
How you doing, homie?
guys. I'm good. How you doing?
No, I'm good. I just want to give a shout out to the guys that we're chilling with here. Esprit View, Egu Ruleni, Upanzo at the back, Cliff. We've got Cats. We've got Gift. Shout out to Umchita Josie Posh, who's going to be dropping some music soon. As soon as he drops, I'm going to let you guys know. Big shout out to fathers, present fathers who are out there doing the most with their kids. I know Panzo and I have children both named Unkanyezi. I want to send a shout out to Ukwezi, Umshana, the little one. Yeah, Josie Posh. Josie Posh, I wish you nothing but the best of luck, brother. And thank you very much to Vusi and VAP Studios. If you guys want to record, if you want to edit, if you want to come and dance, they do pansula, they do classic, they do contemporary. Please come and hit them up, or I'll add details in the comments below and I can connect you guys with the gents. Penson Mlotshwa, ingane dansile, no bab rider. Unjani mfowethu?
Otherwise, right?
No, I'm good, man. It's been a decent week. I think we'll just start off with the most important thing. We lost our uncle, Winfred Mandlagayise Gnene, who we affectionately knew as Umalume Umtofi on my mother's side, my maternal uncle. May he rest in peace. Very beautiful service we had, but myself, my brother, my sister, and my mom drove down to Durban just to go and pay our respects.
It was heavy though, eh?
No, it was.
It was heavy, and also just understanding how families do things, especially understanding what you guys do in your home and your traditions and your cultures might not be what another family does. So that was also quite interesting.
100%.
And your mom spoke.
Yes. Shout out to Mamsi.
Shout out, Mamsi.
Mamsi, look, shout out to Lynn Forbes. Shout out to Uncle Tony Forbes. Parents that are fully hands-on. My mom watches all our content. So sometimes shout out to moms. But yeah, moms gave a very moving speech.
Wow. I was actually in awe because I thought Tuguti she was going to get overwhelmed with emotion because obviously you know, but how she spoke on behalf of the siblings, you know, I sat back, I was like, jeez, that's my mama.
That's proper.
You know, so very, very proud of her. So shout out, Mamsi.
Yeah, man, thank you for touching on that thing. One of the things my mom said in her speech was family politics. And she said every family has family politics, but normally when a person has passed, it's a very good chance for a family to then sit down and to find peace and healing. Because if the person that has passed is in some type of turmoil, it doesn't make sense if the family that's left behind is still fighting. So families have to find peace so that nomuntu sedlulile naye azokwazi ukuxola as well. She spoke about that, and one of the things we spoke about with my aunt, who was also there, Cindy was also there, but my aunt Umamaga Mohammed, she was there, and we were speaking just about the fact that families don't know what protocol to follow at funerals, at weddings, and it's up to us, you guys, the squatters, of course, it's up to you guys to lead in your family, to stand up and be like, Mama, Baba, Mkhulu, Gogo, besangcela sihlale phansi, sibhale umlando wasekhaya ukuthi izinto sizenza kanjani, so that we can learn and so that we can teach others. By the time uzufika emngcwabeni, emshadweni, your songs are all laid out. You guys know the protocols. You know who will be in charge of stuff. Uyazi ukuthi umphefumulo umoya uthatha kuphi uyise kuphi. Ibhokisi maliseliphuma liphuma ngekhanda noma ngena ngeenyawo. Yabo nje lezo zinto noma senifika emgodini ukuthi inkuni kufakwa yini kufakwa mhlawumbe ama program.
Do you know what people don't know about you? Because they'll watch your TikTok and isingisi yasikhuluma ke bafo. And they don't know Guti when you pick for sure realize.
Sure.
Like they really have this perception, you know, because I speak to people about your siblings and whatnot, and I take a step back because I get to see all of you. So I get to see how you are in traditional things, in cultural things. I get to see all the stuff that you don't post, you know, the stuff that is not political, the stuff that's not trending, or the stuff that is not thought-provoking. And I get to see you in the most humble form. Upeti halavi and or kochumkoti or yahlinzwa lana. I get to see all of that, and I go, I wonder if people actually know Guti.
Thank you for that, bro. You know, don't believe everything you see on social media. Social media is perception, and I think the responsibility then lies on us to make sure that we show you as many of our different sides as possible. When we were driving down, I made my brother watch my video, Mapincha. Mapincha, Ushimora, rest in peace. We're having the fattest laughs, and the beauty of it is that Umampincha, if we explain it, Koili vesti babes, usay kitchen, Koi do, Pizu, Candy blackface. Exay Mapeshingo. You know, chile no spongy. Stop tinting your totolos, boy.
Yeah.
Stop tinting your totolosi, boy. So it's nice to see different sides of people, and I think some of us need to use social media in responsible ways and in ways to paint a better narrative. So maybe it may not be appropriate to take videos at a cemetery, but mhlampe showing Penson ebambi halaf, showing Penrose epheka, showing someone else doing something, so that people know that I'm more than the perception that you see on.
But
on
I want to go
media.
deeper. I want to go deeper. I was saying, Guti, when our father passed, you know, the fact that you were there, umgeza, you know, like those things. I don't know if people understand what that is. You know, they don't understand it from a traditionalist, cultural, spiritual point. You know, because when all you doing is you're like, no Ramaphosa, no, but they don't see that. They don't see that part, and that is actually such a huge or foundational pillar of who you are, who we are, and how we were raised. You know, so yes, you're saying it's sometimes it can be inappropriate with certain things that you post in terms of emngcwabeni or the things behind the curtains. But there's certain things that I think we need to document.
Yeah.
So that the next generation can actually understand. Would say, oh, okay, kwenziwa kanje, magiyolotshola, magidinga umuntu ozokwazi they know exactly what to do because they got to see it off these social platforms.
A lot of people that don't know me, but awathi sivele sigxeke nje amasiko nesiko because cheese sikhule emasababsini.
Yeah.
But the reason why sigxeka is because we're actually knee deep in these things, and we ask, just like we did with religion and Christianity, we ask fundamental questions of the principles of why we're doing certain things.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Umfundo, our cousin, for leading some of the protocols for the funeral. I'd like to send a shout out to my uncle Umtofi's sons that were left behind, Ukim Nopoki. He lost his daughter, Ayanda.
Akona no Apiwe.
Akona no Apiwe are the official names. Ukim Nopoki is what we call them. Sure. Shout out to my grandmother, man, who lost her child. She's also buried another child, our favorite aunt, Umbu.
Yeah.
Patience, who's given us one of our favorite cousins, Uksasa Letu.
Ow, Washa.
But yeah, shout out to my grandmother's sister, Esther, Esther, who's still pushing it strong. Shout out to Nomfundo, who's Mfundo's twin sister.
Yeah.
You know, seeing babe bancane ngikhumbula ngibathela induku bevakashe ekhaya. But they were very young, and we've watched them grow.
They're like 100 years younger than you, and they're only 22 this year.
They're young.
And
but sebekhulile, bro.
Yeah,
and
beautifully
it's a beautiful thing to see.
Beautiful, yeah.
Outside of that, we still haven't found out, we still haven't gotten leads on the passing of Kiernan and Tibelo. We're really hoping that SAPS and everyone else that's involved is going to push so that we can get justice. A lot of South Africans are holding their breath because they're almost saying, guys, prove us wrong. We saw it with Senzo Maiwa. We've seen it with some of the deaths in our families. Prove us wrong.
I saw a post you put up this morning, I think, on Vusi talking about. Please can you just unpack that.
So I'll unpack, but just on Kiernan and Tibelo, there've been some. I'm not sure what is the cause. The assumption, because I know it's a drug area in Westbury, which is very close to where I stay. There were 9 people shot, 9 to 11 people shot. 2 of them passed away. May their families, we're sending our condolences, our sympathies. And I did make a video. I think it trended on TikTok, where I was just saying, guys, can we please stop the violence? I understand there are deeper stories out there of what's happening. And I've spoken to some of the Westbury residents who were trying to explain to me how deep these stories are. But it's just my request, whoever's involved, whoever is aware of the people involved, guys, please can we just try and stop. We're dealing with so much as a country. But to those that have lost loved ones, we send our sympathies, we send our condolences, and we really hope we'll have a better country moving forward. So I sent a clip. I don't know what platform he was on, but Vusi Thembekwayo, who you guys know, in that clip, I don't know the greater context, was basically saying, if the Apartheid government had to investigate the killing of Kiernan and Tibelo, they probably would have found a lead within 24 hours. And our current state of the government doesn't enact justice. And in that, he was like, the question we need to ask is, where is this current state and this government getting it wrong from a justice and a delivery and a capability perspective? He went and he wrote tweets later trying to explain, Uguti, you can be evil and capable to do things. they're not mutually exclusive. So he's not saying the apartheid government was good. He's saying they were bad. But in terms of certain service, they were really good at it. I don't know what your thoughts around just that context is.
Yeah, man. I think sometimes we forget, Uguti, without Hitler, we wouldn't have VW.
Volkswagen.
And we would not have things like
Hugo Boss,
etc. So as much as the guy was very evil and dark and all the negatives that come with that, but we also need to say, Guti, he was also competent
in something.
In certain
VW
areas.
is the biggest car company in the world. Some of your favorite car brands are under VW.
Njengamanje amajita nje abhiza hlupho sisibethu uhamba ngama-golf.
Sure,
Amavrpa. So again, njobe ibeko uvusa ukuthi you can be evil, but you can also have the ability to do certain things well.
He's been getting a lot of backlash. By the way, Hugo Boss designed the Nazi uniforms. There are a lot of companies. If you go on Wikipedia, you can check a lot of the companies that benefited from some of the concentration camp labor that was born of the Nazi empire. But VW,
a lot of Americans benefited because a lot of those those are the scientists, they were taken to certain countries. Some of those Nazi guys came to South Africa, and came into KZN and started farming and things like that. So again, we don't speak about.
We're not allowed to speak about it, and I don't want to touch on it because I know the algorithms are going to pick this up. But it's just sad that there's a nation on this planet that doesn't want us to discuss certain things, understandably because of pain. And understandably because they've got this tagline, never again. Because they know if people start discussing certain things, it might spark a resurgence of their oppression. So I understand, but it's just sad that we can't learn because human beings are dynamic.
Yeah.
The Volkswagen Beetle, for people that don't know, was actually designed. It was commissioned by Hitler, but it was actually designed by a gentleman by the name of Ferdinand Porsche, who then went on to start his own company that we know as Porsche today. So Carl Jung, who you speak about very famously.
That I love.
Yeah.
So, no, but yeah, man.
No, just to touch on Carl Jung and the dynamic of our dark and light.
So, Carl Jung, you want me to unpack a little bit?
Just a little bit.
A little bit. So, what I love most. So, I'm on a journey, and I always want to back and talk about myself in this segment of Carl Jung. I'm on a journey of self-discovery. And if you check on my YouTube, my channel, my bio is I'm on a journey. Please, can you be on the journey with me?
Sure.
And it's all about self-discovery. There's so much that we were taught by the outside world, by umama and abangani and tisha and social media. Well, we didn't have social media, but media.
Sure.
And I'm unlearning certain things that don't work for me, and I'm embracing certain parts of me, and Carl Jung speaks about self-actualization. And self-enlightenment is when you fully understand who you are. And within us, there's everything in his writings of a book called The Shadow. He says, within you, there's everything from the demon to the angel. And once you can understand that, you can actually then fully know and accept who you are.
Yeah.
It's that understanding, Uguti, Harry Potter, for the Harry Potter fans. Within him, there's demons. The reason why he's so powerful, the reason why he has that scar is because of that demon. So he's got the darkness and the light.
Sure.
If you look at any villain, any superhero,
Sure.
Every superhero, in order for you to be an effective superhero, your dark, your violence, your ability to kill must be superior to any villain.
Sure.
You must be stronger and have a superior ability to kill than the darkest villains.
Sure.
But at the same time, understand, Uguti, I also have a light and a responsibility on this one side. And
the light must dominate.
And the light must dominate, and I must be able to control the dark when I need to. And Carl Jung speaks about that. Uguti, within you, there is Hitler. And within you, there's Mother Teresa. And you need to understand how and when it is appropriate to pull out the Hitler and when it is appropriate to pull out the Mother Teresa. And those make you who you are.
Did you see the Vusi Thembekwayo clip?
I did.
Do you understand why so many people are upset by it?
I've always taken little clips like that with a pinch of salt.
Sure.
Because we don't have the beginning nor the end. We just have 30 seconds in between. And Vusi, because I've consumed a lot of his content online, I then have a better understanding where he was coming from and where he's going. So for me, I was like, no, man, this makes sense. But I also understand people that haven't consumed or people that like him per se.
Yeah.
They will take that and they will digest it and say something like he's pro-apartheid government or whatever the case is, and then sting him for that.
Sell out.
But he sell out.
Sell out.
So-
Penson.
So that's the problem that we have in today's social media time.
Yeah.
You watch a 10-second clip. This could have been a 3-hour podcast. You watch the 10 seconds. You don't know what was leading up to it.
Were you saying something about Hitler to how anti-Semitic?
Oh, Penson loves Hitler. No. That's not what I'm saying. You just take a little 10-second out of a 3-hour podcast where I was actually just shitting on the guy for 3 hours.
Sure.
So again, I agree with what Vusi is saying. I agree. There's certain
What you think he is saying.
what I think he's saying.
Yeah.
There's certain things that the apartheid government did very, very well.
Like
You know. They were very, very good at.
I'm not laughing.
No, but it's look.
They were very effective at
they were amazing at looking after their own.
Yes.
If you are not envious of that, as umuntu ukuthi, hey, South Africans are now struggling, or if you are part of, let's say, what's a community in here that tends to be struggling? Let's say, Pedi community. Sorry, Pedi people. Let's say you guys were a struggling community, of which you're not, but let's say, and you guys have a strong leader who then makes it their main priority to focus and strengthen you and make sure that you guys are well looked after.
Lucas Mangope and
Yeah,
King Mshweshwe are good examples of what you're talking about.
So
great leaders.
So again, people will see the Zulu people, and our Zulu king is focused on everything but strengthening the people.
Zulu nation.
And I don't fault people that focus on self first. I don't fault you. I fault how you go about it. If it comes at ukucindezela of other people like the apartheid government did, then that was wrong. But I don't fault them in the sense that they decided to make sure they look after themselves first. I'm envious of that. And it's something that I believe you as a leader in your home, you need to look after your family first. You as a leader within your community, you need to put your community first, and so on and so forth.
Speaking about leaders, so Nigeria might have a new president. I'm not sure. The guy who's leading the elections is a guy by the name of, I think, Bola Tinubu. Bola Tinubu. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but
Sure.
some of us try to stay abreast of continental and international politics just so we kind of know where we stand in the world. Paul Kagame has been getting a lot of good press in Rwanda, keeping the streets clean. He's got a firm hand. The Rwandan economy is growing. And then Ubaba Penson, Urama Kaleni, Ramaphosa.
Baba, yeah, I voted for that guy in the last elections. I did.
When
I'm the problem. No, I'm the problem. I don't want to lie. Ubaba, ukele ehlekisa uzuma ngamvotela kayi-2, and then ekade ngivota nami, and then lo ngamvotela in the last national.
So then Cyril Ramaphosa to the squatters, it came out in court reports that he was saying constitutionally he is not liable to end load shedding. It's not his responsibility, and that the responsibility of supplying electricity and ending load shedding is the responsibility of local municipalities. I made a video about it on Penuel the Black Pen, and one of the things I was saying was, what I hate about our law and our constitution is that the people that are powerful can bend it to suit their agendas. And ungathola ukuthi in black and white on paper, he might be technically correct. Like, Eskom is run by a CEO and a team and engineers. So Ramaphosa is like, I'm not an engineer. I'm not CEO of Eskom. But fundamentally, this is the same guy who cut an international trip short to come back because of load shedding. This is the same guy who said he's going to have a minister of electricity in the presidency. This is the same guy who... This is the same guy who makes money from Eskom, because with Shanduga and Glencore, they supply Amalahle. With Pembani and Shanduga, they supply diesel through engine. But then he's saying, guys, it's not my responsibility to end load shedding.
That's absolutely dark.
Is that a leader to what you're saying that puts his people first?
I can't. I can't respect a man like that. Again, ukhumbula ukuthi inhlanzi ishelwa amanzi. How do you say that in English? A fish gets wooed by water.
Yeah, wood, I think, is the correct word.
So a lot of us fall for these tricks, these trickeries. We fall for these campaigns. I listen to people talk about the EFF, and they'll fall for that EFF rhetoric. And fall for it.
Are they not being legit?
No.
Commander-in-Chief Ndlozi Shibambu.
A lemon tree is judged by the fruit it produces.
Okay.
So if a lemon tree tells me that it's going to give me mangoes, and it continues to give me lemons,
then it's not a mango
it's
tree.
not a mango tree, it's a lemon tree. So when I look at EFF,
Sure.
and I say publicly, don't worry about the things that you're doing, less ngayazi, hidden, publicly.
Sure.
What is it that you are doing for your followers?
Sure.
So show us. Let us see. You've said you're going to give us mangoes. We want to see those mangoes.
Sure.
I haven't seen a mango. You know, I might be wrong, but I haven't seen shit.
Yeah.
So even the DA is at least looking after the middle to upper class in the Western Cape.
Yeah.
You know, so if I'm middle to upper class and I live in the Western Cape,
Yeah.
I'll continue to vote DA because clearly they're doing something right. If you go to Cape Town from the airport all the way to City Central, it's absolutely clean.
Sure.
If you go to Cape Town, you go to the middle class areas. If you go to the upper class areas, it's phenomenal.
Do you think that's the DA to take credit?
I don't know who's to take credit.
Okay.
Because I look in middle class spaces in Joburg, there's still potholes. There's still crazy amounts of load shedding. So again, I'm comparing it.
You don't
Gauteng
think there's
versus Western
potholes
Cape.
in middle class spaces in Cape Town?
So I look at the level of, there will be potholes, there will be load shedding.
Okay.
But their load shedding and our load shedding is not the same.
Is it not because those suburbs have richer people?
So for example, from what I've heard, I might be wrong, guys, please correct me.
I don't think there's potholes in Sandhurst and Morningside.
Cape Town, they are always at a stage below us.
Sure.
Yeah, one. So I don't know who to accredit that to then.
Sure.
You know, I would assume the guy who speaks the loudest, their mayor, I don't know what his name is.
I think it's Jordan Lewis. I'm not sure.
The
but I'll
one
get his
who
name.
actually said that, this DA
I
member.
know Cyril loves that gent.
You know, the one who says
Whenever
that the
he's in
most.
Parliament,
He
he's
makes
always
sure
giving him a shout out.
when we crying about stage 6, but at least they're sitting on stage 5. You know, I fully understand, because I've got friends, Kukuletu, I've got friends, Kailich, I've got friends, Philippi. They're living in fucking dirt. So if you are working class within the Western Cape, you are fucked. So if you continue to vote DA, then there's something wrong with your brain.
Mpho Phalatse was the mayor of Johannesburg and she was voted out. She was given a vote of no confidence. I know herself with the DA were beginning...
Pause then today, one.
I didn't get the point before Sugeli Moshe our props.
My aesthetics.
My aesthetics, but
But just
these are called props. But anyways, sorry, you'll have it just now. Let me finish my point.
Sure.
Mpho Phalatse, who was the mayor under the DA, and the DA were trying to begin the process for Johannesburg and city power to begin looking to go off-grid and find different suppliers to our energy. Because what South Africans don't understand is Eskom has generally got a monopoly on generating and distributing electricity in the country. But you're not forced. I don't think you understand what I'm saying. So ekhaya, you're not forced to be under Eskom. You can kind of get your electricity from anywhere. Your community the same. Your municipality normally will get its energy from Eskom. But I know in Joburg, I think 10% of our power comes from the Kelvin power station and then 90% comes from Eskom. So you're actually not forced to get power from Eskom. But the dodginess now with what's happening with load shedding is the Eskom, in dishing out independent power producers, is not allowing the independent power producers to sell energy straight to us. It's going to sell energy to Eskom, and then our municipalities like City Power in Joburg is going to buy from Eskom.
What is that 850 thing that they were proposing? Guti, if you have solar panels, you have to pay some levy of 850 a month if you're off the grid. What was that?
So I haven't, to be honest, read up on the story. Sorry if it doesn't. Even though you mosha our aesthetics. Ngakhohlwa ukubonga uThixo mawusuyivula lapha.
Konje into eniyenza noSbuda. Sithi thank you to
Speak about Sbuda. Hallelujah. Amen. Thank you.
Khuluma la load shedding.
So I haven't read up on the articles. I'd be lying, but I've been hearing murmurs of people saying what's annoying with Eskom is people that are going off grid and solar are going to be getting taxed. Is that your ad now for Mofire?
No, ngiyabuka la ukuthi i-passion pusher.
Passion pusher.
Yeah, imnandi impahla le. Okay. Undani abafundayo. Passion pusher.
People are going to be taxed, and they were getting very upset, and some of them were going to have to still keep paying to be on the grid, which they didn't want. But it looks like government or Eskom or someone is currently looking at giving tax rebates and those things. But I don't want to give full information because unfortunately I haven't read up on it.
But
once I've read up on it, I think I'll speak about it.
Total 360. Well,
180.
Yeah, we always say 360. That's wrong.
360 is wrong.
Yeah.
It's 180.
It's 180. What a total 180. From today, you saying I must pay you, whereas tomorrow now you saying you're going to pay me.
Yeah.
Akekho osuke nje ukuthi okay, if you're off the grid, you're off the grid, and qhubeka nempilo yakho.
And to be honest, with solar, at some point there were discussions of if you have too much solar or whatever alternative, you can feed the grid and get paid. So you can basically generate your own electricity and then sell it to the grid to sell it to other people.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense. And again, to the squatters and everyone else, people still don't understand how energy works. A snapshot, I did a virtual Mkuku episode with DJ Sbu, but I was doing most of the talking. Please go check out the last episode before this one on the I think it's episode 34. Please go check it out and find out what's happening at ESCOM, etc., etc. And then we can have this conversation moving forward. I wanted to speak about Sbuda. So you've had your first sit down with Siso Liope. DJ Sbu, how did that go? How did it come about? Besides nepotism, how did it come about and how was it?
So thanks so much for the plug. That's the benefits of family, guys.
It's meant to be the benefits of family.
It's meant to be the benefit of family. So my whole life, I've been absolutely privileged by having an older brother like this Ntanga next to me, that has smashed doors down and has allowed for not just me, but so many others, Saku Estratin, from me, and I know Zaman, Karabo, Brendan, all of us to go through the doors that you smashed down, and you had to collect a lot of bullets, in smashing those doors down. A lot of hate, a lot of negative, wah. So we truly, truly appreciative. So thanks so much for that.
Only a pleasure. It's my responsibility. It's a responsibility of every family member, community member, to try and open doors for other people.
Yeah, so that's what my brother has done and continues to do. And Tina, as the younger generation, we just coming through, is seamlessly.
But it's merit. You also have to mention the merit. You spoke about self-awareness. So my brother's been making a lot of content on his own social media platforms, particularly Instagram. I know now he's pushing on YouTube. And obviously I've been watching his work. Now other people are seeing his work, Usbusiso being one of them. And he was like, look, I've been watching your brother's content. It's pretty dope. I'd like to sit with him. I was like, Sbu, I'll speak to the guy. He might be busy, but I'll speak to him. So I made that happen because I had to. But it's not just because he's my brother, but it's because he's putting in work, and I think he's a great mind. That's why he's here on the virtual Mkuku couch with me. Sorry, you can please carry on from there. So there's also merit. So it's not enough. A lot of you guys, by the way, just as a small clip, a lot of you guys have got family members that can open doors, espanini in business, but you guys do not deserve it. It can't just be because we share blood that you must show intent. You must follow up. You must humble food and be qualified. By the time it nears our legal work, accounting work, also drive a truck, you must also show because we'll let you in. This is what happens. We let people in. You guys embarrass us. You come to work drunk. You don't show up. You do a shit job. And then Mr. Bugwati would say, your brother, why late? Why in Zaranja? And then Mr. say, Saul. And then next time we don't want to let other people in. So I just want to say kudos. Look, we open doors for each other. He's giving a shout out to me. I give shout outs to him at other times. But kudos to him as well, Uguti. With that little half gap, he's managed to. Because he's my brother by blood. But like I said, Banzo, Cliff, Gift, Cats, all the gents we work with here are also brothers. And once there's a half gap, it's like Majid, a span in, and it's all merit-based. It's guys that deserve to be here. We don't have to keep reminding Majid, because that becomes problematic. How do you?
Yeah, so how was it? And I was saying this to Usbud, especially because we had a proper chat off air. Uguti. We didn't grow up in the city seeing certain people. So for us, our heroes were always so far.
Yeah.
I've had the pleasure to sit and work with Slick on Live, Slicker.
Sure.
And I was sitting and I said the same thing. And I was like, I don't think you guys understand what you guys did for us at a certain time. You guys grew up in the city, you live in the city. But me, who is in a small town, listening to Zowu Mo, when I'm sitting and I'm actually...
Shout out to Squatter Camp.
When I'm sitting with Osleka, I'm like, That's a different feeling. You know, versus someone who bumps into you from young Cresta. So when I'm sitting with Sbu, and all I can think about is certain interview that he's done. All I can think about is Remember When It Rains. All I can think about go green grass or bite of these snakes. I'm like,
Friends Like These, TS Records.
I was like
More Fire,
12.
Massive Metro, Leadership 2020.
I was like 12. And that's all that came through. I'm like, geez, Buddha, we need to actually first chat offline as a groupie.
Sure.
Allow me just to be a groupie.
Yeah.
Just allow me to be a groupie.
Yeah.
Just let me be a groupie. Let me get it out.
Sure.
And then once we're there, then sekpumile azega boy.
Sure.
You know. And then from there, then we did the interview, which was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Great questions. You're more boom, and just the questions, you know, because a lot of it is qualitative. You know. Excuse me.
Our industry.
So you end up feeling like Freeway. And that song Jay-Z.
What we do. I think it's called What We Do.
Keep going free.
Yeah.
Keep flowing free. So Sbu ends up just saying, keep going, dog. Keep going, dog. Keep flowing, dog. You know. And I'm like, hey, you know. So I was like, it was amazing. It was amazing. Arrogantly, I felt at home. I felt like this is what I should have been doing 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, I felt like put me with the Joe Rogan. I'm ready. You know, I'll have, hey, bro, let's just switch off the cameras. You know, hey, JB, hey, Rogan. You know, be a groupie, cameras, Aziak. You know,
That's
so it was amazing.
Dope, bro.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to watching it. You, because I mean, I'm also a fan of your work.
Ooh.
One of the things Sbu and I do a lot is affirm each other. Like, I see you, boy. I see you. The work you're doing. Shout out to Amakrot man that have done so much amazing work. And there's a YFM group. And it's not just the YFM group, but DJ Sbu is one, DJ Fresh, Oskido, Black Coffee. Kona Amakrot man that have set these examples to the rest of us. Uti, put other people on. And look, you don't have to be in entertainment. You know, if we're principal scale, if we sebenza in some municipality, if we have business somewhere, don't get so consumed in everything you're doing that you miss out on into talent, because that's where the Jewish and the Muslim families and communities tend to win. That a lot of them, they understand that I'm here for a while and then I have to leave. And it's going to be important that while I'm here, I find mentees and proteges that I can upskill, so that later on, these are the kids that are going to rise up and keep running this thing. And some of these kids are even doper than me. So as relatively young as I am, 36, 37, I'm constantly trying to look for younger kids who are talented, who are willing to put in work. Like the kids that I mentioned that we're working with here at VAP Studios. These are kids that are younger than me. I'm not that old, but they're much younger than me and they've got more energy than me. So while I'm here, the hope is to impart knowledge. The hope is to open certain spaces for them. And then it's going to be up to them what they do with that. But that's the power of having long-term vision, of planting seeds of trees whose shade you'll never get to enjoy and whose fruit you'll never get to enjoy.
Yeah, but if you look at guys, Cash Money, who's that? That's Birdman
and Slim.
You know, so for them to see an 11-year-old Lil Wayne, you know, and it's 11-year-old Lil Wayne.
But to Lil Wayne, to be honest, he actually was bothering them for a while.
You know, but like,
they gave him a shot.
Yeah, they gave him a shot. So it's not, and for Weezy then to take on the baton and then to find a Nicki, find a Drake, to find a Tiger, you know, and it's up to them now to find the
100%.
next and have it continue. Yeah, but instead of just to go to, okay, now I'm in, let's close the door behind me.
Yeah.
And of which, unfortunately, within our community, many black people, once they tend to want to close the door behind them, you know, and they're the only ones that shine.
Yeah, bengafuna ukukhuluma nge-ANC, but there's legislation. There's legislation.
So the moment I talk about closing the door behind you, uvela straight to Congolese.
So I'll say this: a man or a woman at every time, no more than 15, must always have a mentor, at least one mentor and at least one protege, which is a mentee or someone below you. So more than 15 is normally grade 9. Have a matric that you look up to and you're like, I'm modeling myself on this, and spend time with that matriculant and learn from them, move like this, I'm a cherry or whatever. Don't forget your books. Find someone who's positive. And then find Intwana that's maybe in grade 8, even grade 7.
Grade
that's
6,
still worried.
Yeah.
Uta, I'm scared of high school. At every time, as you move up in life, at any given time, if I ask you, who's mentoring you? You must mention 2-3 people. Who are you mentoring? Ah, Fetu, come on. No, you must always be, because if you've finished matric, if you've graduated, if you've finished grade 7, if you live in a certain community, you always have something to impart to Intwane Ingane. And it's your responsibility to impart and make life easier. I'm a shortcut. The part I was saying about the ANC, man, is there's a policy where they're trying to scrap BEE on certain tenders. BEE's got many problems, many. And I think it's largely failed South Africa. But what BEE represents to me, and them closing it, is the ANC government, yahlangana with the Apartheid government, Kotes. So, igebengu zamabhunu came with these revolutionaries, or so we thought then. Today we call them criminals as well. It was a meeting of igebengu. Zadle igebengu zamabhunu, you guys can come in, but then once you come in, very soon you must close the door, because we can't let everyone in here. Otherwise the party ends. We can't all be rich. It's impossible. So it just makes me very, very sad. That's what I was saying about the closing of the gate.
Yeah.
Ramaphosa, people are arguing, Agasafun. Because he said government is not responsible for jobs. He's saying he's not responsible for load shedding. He's always shocked. He said there was no corruption in the ANC. Abantu are like, this guy is begging us. And we're not listening to him.
So who's next in line?
We also don't know that from an ANC perspective. From an ANC perspective, now the deputy is going to be Paul Mashatile. But just generally, from a leadership perspective, it looks like we've been made to believe there aren't leaders. Meanwhile, there's a lot, in my opinion. But obviously within that space where they're at.
I want to go back to your mentor-mentee thing. So I'm going back to coaching.
Coaching what?
Coaching.
Intwana.
Coaching Intwana. So I'm going back to coaching rugby.
It's the family business.
Education is a family business.
And coaching.
Yeah.
Your father was a soccer coach. He owned soccer teams.
Yeah. But
so teaching and coaching is our family
coaching
business.
falls under the umbrella education.
Sure.
You don't understand how excited I am.
Now 5.
Hey.
Steps.
Hey. I don't want to do that little...
No, let's do the little K thing.
It's
for me.
So
get out of here.
So I'm so excited, eh? Like we've got a game next week, Saturday. Our first game. Unfortunately, I won't be there because I'll be at Dads and Lads. I'll unpack what that is as well, But it's a space where I'm so far removed from Iskolo in terms of being at school. But I'm like, I can just imagine how far I would have been, or further, let me rather use that word, if I had a coach like me.
Yeah.
Because I don't just coach you, I don't coach rugby, I coach life.
Holistic development.
Yeah, one. So
using sports as a gateway.
Yeah, because for me, it's all about effort. Do you know what effort looks like?
Yeah.
Do you know what hard work looks like? Do you know what sacrifice looks like? That's what I'm trying to teach you. And I'm just using rugby as the vehicle for us to get there, or the vessel for us to get there. And it's so important because I know with a lot of people who are going to be watching this will be like, I don't know who to mentor.
Yeah.
And there's thousands and thousands of
your
kids,
sibling.
Who are actually
your
ready.
Sibling, your child.
And it doesn't mean what you mentor, you think instantly business because you might not have information there.
Yeah.
But you might be really good at ugali ibola, or you might be good at singing, or you might be good at X, whatever X may be. And that's where you can find someone who is in need of that assistance.
Sure.
So Ubandile, for example, can find someone who's actually really, really keen to be Ubanele, sorry. Ubanele can actually find someone who's really keen about being a production manager and being a director and understanding everything that happens behind the curtains, and have that guy standing next to him and learning from him, instead of just saying, ooh, angazi ngizothola.
Sure.
So I'm excited, dog. I'm having an undefeated season.
Shout out to your boys. You have to say what your team is because we're going to know anyways because we are posted.
No, you're posted. So it's a school that I worked at. I had the privilege of teaching at St. Stadians.
One of the most prestigious schools in the country.
An amazing school. Amazing school. The support that I got when I was there from the parents, from the teachers, from the kids especially. I missed them so much. And I didn't like every time reading on the results and So I was like, no, I'll help.
Sure.
I'll have an undefeated season.
Again?
Again.
Come on.
I don't know what losing feels like.
What?
So, because I'm also trying to run my own things, I can't commit fully.
Sure.
So they've given me the thirds and the fourths. So I'm the head coach for the thirds and fourth rugby team in the high school. So I'll be working with those guys.
Are you hoping to lose some of those boys?
My aim is to lose some of those boys.
All of them? Or most of them?
Most of them.
So people don't understand what I'm asking. What I'm basically saying is, if you know school sports, there's the first team, the gods of the school. There's the second team, which are the bubbling unders trying to crack into then there's the thirds and fourths, which people normally deem the guys that are playing for fun, not too talented. And because we believe in development, I coached the first rugby team at our old school, Newcastle High School, back in 2009, where I was coaching Osbong Sedi Nxumalo, Nontutuko Xaba, and other boys at that time.
Bahrain.
Bahrain Wells. We believe in development. So what we want to see is a skinny Malinki boy. Nonkosi. Talented boys. Wow. Oh boy, They know themselves.
Yeah.
We want to see a skinny Malinki boy develop into a man.
Yeah.
During confidence,
yeah.
And we want boys that look beyond, because moving from a third, so this is what I mean by lose. He wants these boys to move up from thirds to seconds, maybe even firsts. It's not rugby, it's not sports, it's development, and you want a boy who's
watching growth. Yeah,
I will create a higher standard for myself, and the boy is gonna be like, I'm happy playing for the thirds, but because the coaching is gonna be so intense and so dope.
Yeah.
The seconds, the first, I want to be like, we want this boy.
Yeah.
And any development coach, that's meant to be their goal.
Like,
you need to leave.
Yeah.
I can't keep you to myself. You are bigger than me. Or you're meant to strive to be bigger than me. So I wish you nothing but the best of luck.
So the reason why I feel like I'll lose most of them, because they coach with the first, second team system.
Okay.
And then, I have the thirds and fourths system together, And obviously in there, those teams are made of matrics and grade 11s.
Sure.
And what will tend to happen is that your second team will tend to be like a grade 11A team.
Okay.
And then I will have whatever's left in my third team.
Sure.
So for me, it's incredibly easy to lose boys, and that's going to be my hope, but I'm excited. I already see an undefeated season. I don't know.
Where have you coached in your life?
So I've coached at all the schools that I've worked in. So from Kingswood College, I coached
in Grahamstown. Shout out to Kingswood.
Shout out.
Another very prestigious school, by the way. Co-ed private school in the Eastern Cape.
So I was coaching the second 15 undefeated season. So we beat your Dale, we beat your St. Andrews College. You name the schools in the Eastern Cape. We gave them a
shout out to their coach and to the boys themselves.
Yeah, of course. It was shout out to my Zweli Mbenyane, my mentor at that time. We were coaching together. Shout out to those guys that I coached then.
Sure.
And then I moved to Joburg. Yeah. When I moved to Joburg, I then coached the primary school first team at St. Stithians.
Under 13As. St. Stithians is 5 schools in one.
It's 5 schools in one. So you've got your junior prep, which is a mixture of boys and girls.
Yeah.
And that starts from double R to grade 2.
Okay.
They've got their own headmistress, their own system, their own R. This is all on the same property, by the way.
I know, St. Stithians is huge.
And then the girls go to one side of the school or the property, the boys go to the other side.
Okay.
Then you have the primary schools, the prep schools, preparatory schools from grade 3 to grade 7.
Okay.
Each school has its own headmistress, headmaster, systems.
So those become 3 schools for a primary and pre-primary.
Then you have the colleges, the high schools.
Okay.
Where the boys on one side and the girls on the other side.
Oh.
Yeah, one. There's actually more, because then they've got a development school. They've got a lot. A lot. But on campus there's 5.
Sure.
So I coached there, undefeated as well. After a while, I was tired of coaching the first team. I started coaching the under 9s.
Okay. Why?
I felt I wanted to develop myself in other areas.
Okay.
So at that time, I was improving my coaching credentials as well on the side.
Okay.
So it opened my time up.
Okay.
Coached on the 9s, never lost a game, moved to De La Salle.
But I can also imagine, before you move on, that by the time these boys get to 13, maybe there's certain things you're not happy with.
Yeah.
And you're like, maybe let me go back to the basics.
Yeah. Let me go back
the time
and build.
Sure.
So, for example, those under 9s that I coached, they lost. Their first loss was last year. Well, 2022.
How old were they?
Grade 9. They didn't get to
Okay.
play the year before because of COVID.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was their first loss. So from under 9 right through, they never lost again.
When the foundation is strong.
Yeah, it's all about the formative years, I believe.
Hey, shout out to Dale Jr. I know Dale Jr. I've heard in the circles.
Yeah.
Amazing development school.
And Graham as well. So there's a lot, but it has to do with the formative years. Then I moved as director of sports at a school called De La Salle Holy Cross College.
Sure.
Amazing.
In Linden.
Catholic school.
Private school. Penson uphila nje impilo ye-cheese.
Soft.
Impilo ye-cheese.
Usebenza phi Mark?
Like say those white kids at these schools, are they not always crying at practice? It's so sad.
I get emails because the parents are complaining that it's too hard. It's too rough.
What's too rough? The rugby.
The training. The games are easy. It's the training that's the
Mr.
problem.
Mlocha, can you please tone down a little bit?
Because they're winning, like the games, they're winning by 50 points. So why do we have to train so hard? It's because we train so hard. So I was director of sports there, and I just coached under 9s. Yeah. And the reason why I coached under 9s because at that time I was coaching at the Lions. So I was coaching the Lions.
The Lions is the provincial...
The primary school, yeah. So
provincial rugby team for the primary schools.
For the primary school. So I was coaching there. So again, at that time I was coaching provincially, the Craven Week side, and I was reffing at a provincial level as well.
Sure.
So that's why I was also coaching at under 9s, and I had to run a whole sports department looking after kids that were 4 years old up until 13.
Jeez.
So that's double R to grade 7. Sure. So it was also a lot there. Moved to a school called Dainfern College in Dainfern, Johannesburg. Four ways. Was director of sports there, but in the high school.
Okay.
Coached under 14 rugby. Never lost a game.
That's...
As I'm combining game here rugby. Basketball, netball. I don't know what losing feels like.
Can't lose, won't lose.
Won't lose. So it was those things where you realize, man, I'm not coaching the sports. I'm coaching the fundamentals of life.
Yeah.
Hard work, effort, sacrifice, resilience. Being able to. There's so many guys that when we play touch with, how much they have no awareness. They don't know that guy's in a better position than I'm in.
Yeah.
So in a situation where all they need to do to score a try is just to pass the ball.
Yeah.
But because he's seeing life like this, he misses those opportunities.
Yeah.
It's the same in business, right? All of a sudden, you guys realize we need to give it takes. The person who's got awareness is going, no man, I'd be scoring all the goals.
Sure.
And I've realized, all we need to try and do as mentors, to the guys coming up is make sure those fundamentals of life they can see.
Yeah.
So when he's on the sports field and he realizes, that guy is so huge. Hey, wait a minute. Because he's so big, he might be slower than me. So I just need to run around him.
Sure.
That's the opportunity.
That's awareness.
That's the awareness, and communication. On the sports field, everybody's screaming, yes, the ball, everybody wants the ball. Your mom on the side is screaming, your cousins, the coach is screaming, but you need to be able to block out the noise and actually hear the ones that are actually most relevant. And again, it's the same when you want to start a business. Vuli salon, vuli car wash, vuli bottle store. You need to be able to block out the noise and say, actually, I want to get into the business of AB. Zone into AB, pull in those people that you need to be building with, and then move. So all those lessons I didn't learn through the teachers that I had available formally. Sure. So I had to learn through the school of hard knocks. I was, again, lucky to have a mentor like my brother who taught me those lessons that my teachers in school failed to. I was lucky and blessed to have a mother who taught me the lessons that the school formally failed to. So now I am seeing myself, I'm blessed to be in schools. So I'm using the vessel of maths or using the vessel of rugby or using the vessel of soccer, whatever the case may be, to teach those lessons so that they understand, if I can shine in rugby, what's stopping me to shine in the maths class?
Sure.
If I can shine in the maths class, what's stopping me to shine as a professional e-gamer?
Yeah.
Because it's the same fundamentals.
Yeah.
So that's why if you look at these guys who become successful in one sport, they can adjust to another sport.
Yeah.
Or successful in this business, they can adjust to this business because the fundamentals are the same. Yeah,
shout out to you, part-time coach / player at
Dugas.
At Diggers Rugby Club in Randburg. You're also coaching Nyana there.
Yeah.
And you play.
But I haven't been there this season. I don't want to lie.
Who was that Fijian legend? I forget his name.
Not Turu. No.
Serevi, who
Serevi.
he was the coach
Yeah.
and the star player, team manager. Uchomosono. Wenza konke.
Driver ne bus.
Jeez.
So yeah, that was me last season. I haven't had a chance to go practice now. The reason is because I'm coaching. My Saturdays are going to be
Sure.
tied up. But if there is a gap, I'll go play. You know,
Good luck with the season, bro.
I keep myself in top physical shape.
Guys, please don't forget to work out, man. Like,
I'm an athlete.
Health is wealth.
I'm an athlete. It's fine.
Health is wealth. So please make sure that you're taking care of your health.
Yeah.
Look, you drink the more fires, of course, to energize yourself. You don't drink them just to luto, because that's not good for you. It's an overload of caffeine. But to keep you pumping at work, to keep you pumping on the sports field, etc., we use them just to give a kick.
Yeah.
Of course, we drink them now because we're coming to give you some kicking vodcasting. You know what I mean? So we appreciate the support, man. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck. I wish your team nothing but the best of luck.
Thanks so much.
You've met a better coach, teacher than yourself?
No.
You're the greatest.
Yeah. I'm looking out. There's people that might be more knowledgeable in maths as a subject. But when it comes to the delivery, I've never met someone who's as amazing. I haven't.
I want to give a shout out to all our mates, all our mates that are in teaching that we know personally. You guys know yourselves. You can mention Oma Pete, Ulita Mapete, Sopumla Ngoma, Ombongeni,
Osanelo Sunshine.
Jeez, Sunshine Gamer left working at a big law firm to go and be a teacher because that was his calling. Amazing coach, amazing teacher as well. He was at Maritzburg College, he was at JP Boys, he was at St. David's in Inanda. Now he's at Kersney College. And everyone else, I know I'm not going to mention all of them. The females as well, Gail Locordia, you know yourself, Shanice as well. There's a lot of you guys who are our personal friends. And I think because you guys know us and you consume our content, you know how valuable your work is. And we know that your work is beyond just earning a salary and just teaching curriculum. So thank you very much to you guys.
That's the new, and I actually wanted to touch on that, I think in the last conversation we were talking about teaching. That's the new wave of teachers that are out now.
Sure.
Whereas our parents or the generations
do we still
above
have time?
us...
Yeah, you can look it up. 5:10.
Okay, sure. So the generations above us, those people that got into teaching, nursing, by police, I feel they had limited options.
Sure.
And they fell into that out of,
limited options.
Yeah, limited options.
Same circumstance.
If you look at the Luke Pearsons of the world.
Sure. Shout out to Luke Pearson. Shout out to Grey High School as well in PE.
Those guys have nothing but love and passion for education. They can't hide it.
The Douthwaite family from Newcastle as well. So, Jonathan Douthwaite and his dad. That was, I think, at St. Dominic's.
So I look at a very, very good friend of mine. He's deputy at St. John's, Umbongeni Ellen Makuban.
Shout out to the Makubane family from Newcastle as well. Hey, we know too many people.
So him, for education, just oozes out of him. Like he will sit and he'll read books upon books upon books upon books upon books because he just wants to make himself a better person so he can become a better educator. It's a bit unfortunate that all these people that we speak about and we talk so highly of are in an IB space.
Sure. Private schools. So private schools get the best of the best.
They get the best. So the kids that already come from strong financial homes with great support structure get to be put in these schools with the most phenomenal teachers.
Like imagine you at a Newcastle High where you matriculated, or you at a Shalanati High where our mom taught. Jesus, where our mom taught. So
again, those type of things, you just take a handful of those teachers, you put them in underprivileged spaces. Teachers that are passionate about what they're doing.
Yeah.
I saw this when I was doing my pracs at Ntsiga in Grahamstown. Shout out Ntsiga Senior Secondary, where Uskuman, this lady who was the headmistress at Victoria Girls, left and went to go fundisa Lukshin.
Yeah.
And she was the headmistress at Lukshin. And she took the matric pass rates in 1 year from 35% or something to like 90+%.
Jeez, shout out to Mrs. Skuman.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mrs. Skuman.
Within a year. Within
That's
1
leadership,
year,
boy. That's leadership.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I can assume that once I'd left, Sebesha 100%. And again, that's because you've taken someone who's got a real passion and a love, and doesn't mind pouring everything they have, into education versus the generation that just went there for a salary.
Shout out to Colbert Kwacho. In Mpumalanga, he owns a lot of private schools there. They're not as prestigious as St. John's and St. Stithians, but their pass rates are ridiculous in Mpumalanga. Yeah. Colbert Kwacho, and I know he's not the only one. There's a lot of unknown private schools around the country that really push.
Yeah.
But shout out to all the educators, man. Shout out to us. I forgot to send a shout out to another St. John's old boy, Dr. Sizwe Mpofu Walsh. I think he's currently lecturing at Wits. Also very passionate about education. Also could have been doing anything, but he's vodcasting and he's lecturing.
I think he just jumped onto the board there at St. John's, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually quite
pretty
cool.
dope.
That's quite cool, yeah.
So the virtual mkhukhu is umkhukhu wenu, guys, wokufunda. And nathi njengoba silana sizonifundisa kuncane esikwaziyo. We always challenge you guys in the comments to also share your experiences. If you know amazing teachers, if you miss some of your teachers from school, please send a shout out to them. I promise you, someone will screenshot and send it to your old teacher. Be like, I miss Mrs. Whoever, or Mr. Bani, or Membani, or Use, or Afrikaans Yefro. Please send them a shout out in the comments below. Tell us which schools you like, etc., etc. And look, also school us. It doesn't have to be education related. Anything that you feel we could benefit from, we appreciate the suggestions, guys. Please speak about this, talk about that. I think before we wrap up, I just want to send my huge thanks to an older colored gentleman that I bumped into last week in Florida, in Johannesburg. He's a police officer in the Orlando police station. So if anyone sees this, please take a clip and send it to him. Sir, thank you so much for stopping me. Thank you so much for supporting our platforms and supporting my voice. He raised that the police don't have enough of a budget. And the reason we're not getting swift justice is because for some reason, the police department does not want to send out more staff. So you might find that for a functional police station, you need 30 cops, but they only have 4 or 5. And I know another issue that we have is sometimes there aren't enough vehicles. So to Minister Begicele, who we always criticize and bash a lot, to himself, his team and everyone else, let's please try and help. If you guys can do neighborhood watch, if you can do community policing, and if you can get private security, let's please look into that because our police are under a lot of pressure. He was also complaining our inflation is very high. The cost of things is going crazy. But I think their increase was 3%, if not less, last year. So they are also struggling to make ends meet. And one of the things he said is he's an ethical cop, but he knows a lot of his colleagues who are not, and they get bribes. He said he arrested someone and he got a phone call from a senior person in Pretoria saying, please release that person. And he was like, I'm going to find you. I'm going to find you because you're part of the rot of the system. But he says part of the issue is when people are struggling financially, it opens a gap for criminals and thugs and other corrupt people to be like, it's a bamba na so that the docket can disappear. Bamba na keep a lumchite jail, etc. And that's where we have situations like what's happened in Westbury, what's happened in Durban, Tutibelo and Kiernan, and other horrendous crimes out there. But to you, sir, thank you so much. Thank you to all the ethical, good police officers in this country that are working very hard. We will try to support you where we can. Please know that when we're bashing SAPS, when we're bashing the police, we're not bashing you. We're bashing your colleagues who are lazy, who are corrupt. Same with government workers. We are bashing your lazy, corrupt colleagues who take 2-hour lunches, who are busy eating hamakuinya instead of serving us. And when they don't serve us, our economy comes to a standstill. When the economy comes to a standstill, that means we can't pay tax. If there's no tax, we can't create jobs.
Yeah.
Then next year, go to your budget, and you guys will get retrenched. And it will be because there are people in your departments pretending the system is offline, that are taking long lunches and that are not serving people to the best of their abilities. It starts with each and every one of us as virtual squatters to make this country a better place to live in. Closing words before we shy pants.
I support the Chiefs, guys. Just enjoy this keep us young.
Naman, you say Pakania.
Yeah, Nipaga Juju, even though the Chiefs
It's such a sellout.
but the Chiefs, we lost to the Chiefs, so maybe
It's
people would
such a
think
sellout. We're running out of time. More bands are telling us to
But
wrap
yeah,
up.
no, thanks again for inviting me here. I can't wait till this feels normal.
The Pin and Pin Show, gay hand.
I don't want to do that anymore. But looking forward to Dads and Lads next week. I'll unpack that once we've experienced it.
That's in St. John's.
That's with St. John's, yeah. So
With your light, who's Zita?
was it Dads?
Hello Zita, hello Danzi, hello boys.
So
Like
that's-
4 of Nina Banyos.
So yeah, no. So I'll unpack that. But thanks for the education, dog.
Sure.
Thanks for the Hustlers Corner, and the interview that we did that will come out a bit later.
Dope. I just want to send the greetings since I was in Durban to my kids, the Ushaga and Culture. Always happy to see you guys and the family that takes care of them on behalf of me and their mom. Shout out to Nkunzi Africa. You guys now they have Skype and Mom, she sent you guys a cell phone with your messages and rubbish. Love you guys very much. Zulu, I hope someone at your school in Newcastle is going to take a clip of this and send it to you. I love you very much, my boy. I hope very soon Cool mfana so that we
Can
can
I take
reunite.
pictures and then basendele? I should have been
Sithani ithombe zazi
Oh, send ithombe. What's happening?
No, not now, man. This is to my boy Uzulu Panza.
Boo.
Anyways, and then Scoop, I'll be seeing you soon, boy. I love you very much, even though you don't know what Scoop, Dombo. Anyways, we love you guys, man. The Virtual Mkuku, VM. We're out till next week, Monday, I think.
Sharp.
Cheers.